Barrett, if you're involved in the world of college football and athletics, from time to time, Tennessee will pop up in the storylines for you.
Sometimes they do. Content capital of the world, right?
It seems like it, which we are not going to complain about from that angle. Which angle do you take? Because we have a number of different chapters to the story just in the last 3 or 4 days with the NCAA, Tennessee, and everything else.
I absolutely love that Danny White and Tennessee are just going scorched earth, right? Like, I think it is absolutely perfect that Tennessee is the one involved, because we know Tennessee can get angry in a way where maybe they're the change agent. So I'm fully on board with Tennessee being that team. I just don't understand how the NCAA can say, hey, you broke NIL rules before there were NIL rules. And they don't even and they really didn't break any rules anyway, because Spire is not the collective for Tennessee. So it doesn't make any sense. It's stupid, it's ridiculous, and it's very, very NCAA. And to me, I think there are, I wouldn't even say 133 programs. I'd say about 500 programs that secretly are like, hey, Tennessee, keep doing what you're doing, because you're the one at the forefront of this, and Virginia obviously as well. So, I think this will ultimately, hopefully anyway, bring, guardrails in and bring everybody together on what is and isn't allowed, because the worst thing that happened in terms of all this NIL stuff is the fact that states did their own thing. And that's sort of the genesis of why we're here.
I think it's fascinating, Bear, that the NCAA, how they decide to label what's a booster and what's not a booster. I think when you say all you need to say, everybody can be considered a booster. I mean,
absolutely.
If you give any money to the university, you could be considered a booster. So I've heard some talk about, well, Spire is technically a booster according to the definition. Well, in that case, everybody can be a booster
exactly.
because you give money to a school, right?
Yeah, everybody's a booster. And, I mean, honestly, it's kind of that way before. That's kind of how things were, and nobody seemed to care then. And right now, when you look at really why Tennessee is in this mess, they're categorizing boosters in any way, shape, or form in a new landscape, and they didn't define what was a booster in the new landscape. And I don't understand the reason behind this. But in the end, like every case, the true winners are going to be lawyers. Billable hours are undefeated, and I'm sure that's going to be the case here.
Barrett Sallee is with us. We're talking Tennessee, the NCAA, and everything else. So you think other schools might like that this is the response from Tennessee? What happens next? What's the maybe next turn in this story? Because it has unfolded quickly, it seems, in the last 3 or 4 days.
Yeah, I think other states are going to join that lawsuit. I think that anybody that Tom Mars touched in terms of marketing or signing, those states are probably, or those schools are probably getting investigated too. That's the thing is, Tennessee is under investigation. Florida State was, Florida, whatever. Those are the ones we know about. And I think if they're going after this specific group and sort of categorizing Spire and everything else with Tennessee, then other states, other schools have to get involved too, and they should. So I think that's the next thing. It wouldn't surprise me as early as today if other states joined. And then we're going to start to know a little bit more about how the NCAA is treating this entire thing. Because, like I said, Tennessee's out there, Florida State's out there. These are the ones we know about. I would imagine there are many, many more. And if there aren't, then there should be, because everybody's kind of doing the same thing here.
Bear, I think one of the states that should be in the boat the quickest with Tennessee, Virginia is Missouri, because of their law that they passed, where they're allowed to give NIL compensation once a prospect signs their letter of intent. So technically, a player can start getting paid right after the early signing period before they arrive at Missouri. And so, I mean, wouldn't Missouri be a school that should be getting a letter from the NCAA in that case?
I would imagine they should, if they haven't already, right?
Yeah.
Like that just, think about high school kids like Luther Burden, right? If he were a high schooler right now, he'd be worth millions and millions of dollars and would have just enrolled, right? So to me, Missouri's out there. Texas, because of the fact that high school kids can already make money, should be out there. I think California has a pretty loose definition of how you can get NIL. So yeah, Missouri though, that's one of the, and that was one of the first ones. I think it went Florida, and then I think the state of Missouri might have been number 2, could have been number 3 in terms of the states that pass laws. So if those schools aren't, they absolutely should be.
Barrett, what do you think? Any concern when you see Boston College's head coach jump to the NFL for a coordinator position? Liam Cohen, he had jumped before, but he does it again back to the NFL. He's an offensive coordinator at Kentucky. There's talk of Chip Kelly may be interested in a coordinator position in the NFL as opposed to being a head coach. What do you think when you see that? And is the current landscape of college athletics a factor in these coaches' decision?
There's no doubt. There's going to be more. I have no doubt about it. Think about Chip Kelly. If he leaves UCLA the year they're going into the Big Ten to take an offensive coordinator role at the NFL. Now, Chip Kelly has never really liked recruiting all that much. I think we all sort of know that he's never really been in that mindset, which is essentially why he left Oregon, because he kind of felt like he reached that peak. So, yeah, others are going to do it. It's a terrible, terrible job in terms of time management and roster management and all of the balls you have to juggle. And there really aren't, there's not much time to coach actual football. On Sirius XM about a month ago, Brent Pry was on, Virginia Tech head coach, and he said that he missed multiple bowl practices because he was out recruiting high school kids. He was out recruiting transfer portal kids. He was, talking to boosters, all this stuff. And so, yeah, there are going to be others that do that. And to me, there's one quick fix that the NCAA can do, and that is completely readjust the calendar. I don't know if they can actually do that now. You can't put the toothpaste back in the tube. So, are you going to do away with the early signing period? They should. I don't know if they will. Are they going to shrink the winter transfer portal window? They should. They already did it once. I don't think they can make it a week because that's what it should be. So, the way to fix it is to fix the calendar from and put up guardrails. And maybe ultimately that's what the Tennessee lawsuit actually creates, is not only guardrails with NIL, but guardrails within and structure within the entire sport, which would prevent things like this happening with Jeff Hafley leaving and Chip Kelly potentially leaving. I think if the end result is that, then the entire sport is better off.
Your dog barked. Is that a sign that maybe Chip Kelly has taken the job? Sometimes that's a signal.
No, that's just a Georgia fan over there.
I don't know which one was barking. Maybe they just maybe that dog was like, "Hey, you're talking to Tennessee, right? I'm a dog. I must be this is a bulldog house," even though I went to Auburn, but whatever.
Yeah. You can tune in to Smothered and Covered to find out if he does or does not hate your team this week. Tell people about what you have going on. You mentioned SiriusXM as well, but how people can find you and your coverage of college football.
Yeah, new show, College Football Smothered and Covered. You can subscribe on YouTube, Rumble, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon, wherever you get your podcasts, and wherever you watch live video. Pretty much we'll be there. So new show coming up this afternoon. It should be on podcasts for your drive home, as well as live on YouTube and Rumble.
So you can watch, you can listen, Smothered and Covered. Go check it out. Go subscribe to keep up with Barrett Sallee, who joins us on Fridays right here on Josh and Swain. Enjoy the weekend. By the time we talk to you next week, Barrett, there will be far more updates, I'm sure, to the story we've discussed today. So thank you for the time, as always.
Sure.
We'll talk to you again soon.
Thanks, y'all. See you.
Vol Twitter loves you, Barrett.
Barrett Sallee. Yeah, you're back on the same side after a speed bump maybe in the last couple of weeks.
It's a very volatile relationship,
Yeah, which is kind of how it's meant to be.
It's supposed to be in college athletics.
Yeah. Everybody's got your back. Barrett, we appreciate the time. Thanks so much.
Thanks, y'all, too.